Welcome back to the MVP's Lounge. If you're new here, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share. As always, you know the drill. Today, my people of the MVP's Lounge, we will be discussing Ricochet as a heel in AEW and why it's thriving currently. Now let the king tell you why. Ricochet as a heel, trust me, stick with the program. It has been flourishing. The man is absolutely killing it right now. Let's start with a little recap though. Let's go backwards. Let's talk about AEW Revolution this past weekend. Revolution was a stat card filled with non-stop action, violence, everything you need from AEW. But I saw this match between Swerve and Ricochet to stand out more than the others. Now, Tony Storm, Mariah May, of course, that was the number one on my list. But Ricochet and Swerve, that was my match of the night at first before we even got to Tony and Mariah. Both of them went absolutely insane in this match, but I think Ricochet really showed what he's all about when he's allowed to just go out there and be a jerk.
Oh, wait a second! Driver on the floor. Swerve got caught on the tope.
I mean, let's be real, his in-ring work was flawless, but it wasn't just the flips and the crazy spots that got the crowd riled up. It was his attitude. Ricochet played the crowd perfectly, making Swerve the sympathetic character while he did all the little heel things that made you want to boo him, but you couldn't stop watching him. And that's what makes him a great heel, right? You want the crowd to hate you, but you want them to also recognize that you're a great wrestler, and that's what he brought to the table. But what really stood out was his nuances, the little things that just made it work. Ricochet wasn't out there as a superhero. He was out there to prove something, and it was working on a different level. Like during the match, many times with Nana trying to get his roll back and him stopping him there, him yelling at the celebrity folks in the crowd, all that stuff was just perfect. Like he's really getting it right now as a heel. Like this is what's needed from him. And he's like doing it like it was second nature already. He wasn't just showing off his athleticism. He was doing it with his cocky, in-your-face attitude that felt different than his previous runs as a babyface. You see, let's talk about what he's been doing week to week. This is where he's really starting to shine as a heel. And it's kind of stuff you might not notice right away, but once you do, it all clicks. One of the first things you'll notice about Ricochet's new heel persona is that he wears a hat now. Yeah, I know. It sounds crazy, right? The man's just wearing a cap backwards. It shouldn't mean nothing, right? Well, it's genius. It's not just a switch up in fashion. It's a way of dealing with the crowd's obsession with calling him bald. I mean, we all know how the fans are, and they love to throw jabs, whether it be him being bald, whether it be Samantha. You know, it's all those things that he's now starting to cater to in his way. It's all clicking. Ricochet's embracing it in the most heelish way possible by covering up all of his flaws. And that just feeds into his insecure, psychotic Twitter troll persona that he's got right now. Like the dude is like on a warpath in terms of acting like a complete Twitter troll, and his laugh and the way his voice just sounds. It just works. It just correlates everything together. Like we knew at his times, anytime he was cutting promos, it just never sounded right and it never came off the correct way. But now as a heel, it's really feeding into his character that he has now. Speaking of the Twitter troll vibe though, let's talk about his promos. Everything has been complete perfection in terms of playing down all the other stuff, looking for validation, the attention, all that stuff has been working very, very well. He's a heel who's flawed, desperate for attention, but still dangerous in the ring. And that's what's really working right now. You see, as a face, it wasn't really clicking. If you look at his time at WWE, it wasn't all there. Like, you can see when you look back on it, they tried to make him a superhero. It was trying to be a fun, lovable, high-flying guy, but he would cut these cheesy promos, and it just felt forced and out of place. Like, his voice didn't work. He sounded corny. He looked corny. It just wasn't working, man. It just wasn't working at all. Like, yes, he was great in the ring, but the character substance was not there. Like, it just wasn't clicking with the people. Yeah, the crowd would be like, wow, man's gonna hit a 630 shooting star press stomp or something like that. But it's like, okay, before you could even get to the match, how do you get the people in the building? You know, how do you draw the people in to come watch you? How do you get the feuds to get hyped that it needs to be if you're going into the promo battles and the backstage segments and it sounds lackluster and boring? That's not what's needed. Because if you go back to even during his brief run in NXT, that's when we saw glimpses of what Ricochet could truly be. NXT didn't have him doing corny promos, forcing a gimmick on him. Instead, it was Ricochet as the one and only. And it made sense. He was the only guy who could do the things nobody else could do in the ring. And when it came to promos, he didn't talk much, but when he did, it was short, sweet, and to the point. I mean, let's not forget that moment when Velveteen Dream says, anything Ricochet can do, the Dream can do it better. And Ricochet, without saying a word, the man flips out of the ring onto his feet, walks right up to him, and just says, show me.
You will truly know that anything Ricochet can do, the Dream can do better.
Then show me.
That was perfect. Simple, effective, and it got across everything you need to know about Ricochet. He didn't need to talk much, but when he did, it was all attitude. And then, of course, we can't forget about when he was in Lucha Underground. See, Lucha Underground, for those who don't know, was a show that came on the El Rey network, and it was a show where all the great luchas, all the great wrestlers who believed they could wrestle in the temple of Dario Cueto could come and show violence, show lineage, show the entire wealth of their in-ring talent. That was a turning point for him, because before he got to WWE, during his time in Lucha Underground, he wore a mask, had this mysterious aura around him, and the in-ring work was absolutely insane. But the real key to Prince Puma was how the character was built. He wasn't just a guy who could do flips. He was a guy with a legacy, a story, a character. Conan was there to help him cut promos, adding depth and gravitas to the whole Prince Puma mystique. The Lucha Underground booking was genius in how they gave Ricochet a character that fit him. Not one thing was forced into this mold. It was natural. And that mystique worked for him in a way that WWE never did. But after Lucha Underground ended, Ricochet went back to being, well, just Ricochet. Couldn't keep it. Wasn't owned by him. So he had to go back to just being Ricochet. No mask, no Prince Puma. Which now brings us back to AEW. Because when he came to AEW, he started out as a face. And honestly, it started out very, very poorly. You know, he debuted during that casino gauntlet match at one of their pay-per-views. And he was just doing random challenges on Twitter. People would start a beef or say something to him, and he would try to challenge them now for in-ring matches. Like, it was weird. It was like he looked like the guy who just wanted to be cool and say random quotes. Because even during that short feud that he had with Ospreay, because he honestly just showed up just to fight Ospreay and do flips with him. And during their promo, I remember he was like, I'm Kobe Bryant with it. And it just didn't work. Like, it was not true to what he was. Like, saying that as a face and the way he was doing everything in that promo, it just wasn't it, man. Yeah, like, none of that stuff hit at all. Tony Khan, being the smart guy that he is, though, quickly realized that AEW wasn't the place for this version of Ricochet at all. Slowly but surely, he transitioned him into this annoying, insecure Twitter troll heel. Someone who was always looking for validation, always firing back at the crowd and the other wrestlers. It just worked. Like, it made things perfect for him. His character, the way he speaks, the nuances and everything he does in his real life, it just flowed like an actual character in the show. It worked perfectly, and Ricochet owns it like it was a two-piece suit, you know, tailored just for him. From the crowd calling him bald, chanting for Samantha, or throwing toilet paper at him, he's fully embraced being a heel. And you know what? It's real. Feels authentic. Ricochet as a heel just works. So here we are. Ricochet is absolutely killing it as a heel right now. His character is perfect for AEW. He's found his groove as this insecure, psychotic Twitter troll who knows how to back it up in the ring. It's natural, it's entertaining, and it's real. We here at the MVP's Lounge, we're going to give him his flowers. Okay? If there's anything that we do, we like to give people their flowers when it's good, when it's consistent, and when it's done well. Okay? Complaints only go out to things that don't work at all. You know, when it's bad, it's bad. You know, we'll let you know it's bad. Okay, the pay-per-view that they had at Revolution, we talked about it. It was a dang near perfect pay-per-view, but it ended trash. So in terms of Ricochet and his heel run, it's been solid work from him, and he needs to continue to be a heel going forward. All right, bro, keep healing it up out there. He's currently in the tournament for the Intercontinental title or actually, was it internet? Okay, it's international actually. They have the Continental and the International title. So at some point, I think they said they're going to combine those belts, but he's currently in the International title tournament to see who's going to face Kenny Omega. And I think his first match is against Shibata on Collision. So again, tune into that to see more great heel Ricochet things. Pretty sure he's going to win that match in advance. So I would love to see heel Ricochet, babyface Kenny fighting for that title in the main event of whatever show they end up doing that in. But that's all we have for you today with our boy King Ricochet. If you like what I said, please let me know how you feel about it in the comment section down below. If you do not agree with what I said, again, let me know in the comment section down below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. And we will see you back here in the MVP's Lounge next time. Oh, and again, like, subscribe, share, because it's important.
On USA, characters welcome.
You must be sleeping under a rock or something.